Today, I'd like to focus on the second reading and also the gospel. The second reading is Paul's second letter that he sent to the people of Thessalonica. And the city of Thessalonica is in northern Greece. Now, today, the population of that city is quite large, around 300,000. But if you include the metropolitan area, it's around 1 million. Back in Paul's time, we don't know how many people lived in that city, but we do know it was still quite populous. And Paul was there to help support Christians in the spread of Christianity. And in his letter, he warns people to please be good role models to others. So, why did Paul think that was important to tell them to be good role models to other people? Well, of course, he had to give a good example to them, and he wanted people to give good examples to others so they could see how hardworking and honest and positive people were, but also to help them open their hearts to their faith and to God, and to be able to do that and spread it to other people. Because if we're not a good role model, how can we spread our faith? So that's why it's important to be that good role model. And he wasn't just talking about people being a good role model in that city and in that time. He was talking about us in present day, no matter where we are or no matter when we are. The world is starving for good Christian role models. Now, most of the people look up to certain groups in our society, like celebrities, sports players, other famous people. But do they set a good example? Are they a good influence? Do they truly talk about God? Not really. They tend to have a more negative influence on the rest of the world. So now we as Christians have to be encouraged and encourage others to be good role models. One thing that I think is important is that we have to look at our language. So, our language is important because if we tend to swear a lot, and I've seen some bad swearing. We look at how people talk in the world and they use all kinds of language. And I say we can't do that, that we have to try and find other ways to express ourselves, to be more holy and to be respectful, and to develop better habits than swearing. If you have that bad habit, here's a suggestion. Try and catch yourself and immediately think of another way to express what you want to say without using those words. And after a while, it'll become a habit where you're using much nicer language. The second example I want to use is that of Facebook. And I know everyone around the world has Facebook. It's become a part of our lives. But when I read at the stuff that people post, it tends to be so negative and so critical. Even people go on rants sometimes. It's exhausting. So it's important that we be very careful about the types of things we post on social media, because we want to post stuff that has a positive effect on people, that helps them become closer to God, instead of encouraging them to become negative like we are when we post that kind of stuff, because that leads us all to sin. We can have a great influence on people. So I think it's important to be careful what we post on social media. And the other thing is, why is it easy for people to follow worldly ways? Well, I think it's because we want to be accepted. We want to be part of the group. We want to be able to fit in, and we want people to like us, because if we don't follow what they do, they tend to criticize us and mock us. And yes, Jesus knows that. In the gospel, Jesus warns us that we will be criticized and persecuted, and that people will make fun of him and persecute him, but that it's worth it, and that we can't care about it because it's only temporary, and that our faith in God is what's going to lead us to everlasting life. And also, we can continue to win over other people through our love, in spite of their mocking or criticizing us. If we set a good role model, we may help them find Jesus. We never know. We have to trust in what he says. Thank you, and God bless you.